This is going to be a complete, thorough guide on how to become the GOAT at Power League in Brawl Stars. I'm tag teaming this one with Bren, who also has another part to this video on his channel. If you haven't already watched that, make sure to go check it out after this one. And he's going to help me give you guys some tips throughout this video. Not only will we talk about just general tips for Power League, but also go over every single mode and the best bans and brawlers for each mode. We also asked the Vanguard Pro team to help us out with choosing the best bans for each map, so even if you're really good at the game, there might be some information there that you might not know. Let's get started though. Alright, so I think a very good general tip to be successful in Power League is to really think about the brawler that you want to play in advance and try to ban its biggest hard counter. By eliminating the hard counter to the brawler that you want to play, it will definitely up your guys' chances. It does not mean you are guaranteed a 100% win, but it will really help your guys' chances to try to win as many games and win the set. For Knockout, the best bans are going to be the most annoying brawlers for this map. So Jean, Eve, Janet, and Byron are the top picks. Tick is also a great ban on every map except for X marks the spot, since he's not really as good on that map since it's so open, but all the other brawlers are just very strong in Knockout, and brawlers like Jean can really swing the game in the opponent's favor if they're able to successfully use a super. And you don't want to be in that position where you're just relying on your opponents to screw up, so banning him out at the start is a great idea. Generally in Knockout, a lot of the brawlers that are really long range are going to do better. Some really good ones, for example, are Janet, Eve, Leon, Spike, and Nani, who all have great range, some more than others, but they all have very useful abilities that allow you to really easily get kills without putting yourself in much danger. Other great brawlers would be like a Piper or a Byron, as well as throwers like Sprout or Tick if they aren't already banned, because there's so many walls and it's really easy to just get kills while camping behind those walls. Another good general tip for you guys is to make sure that you guys are playing safe and as consistent as possible. Honestly guys, staying alive is one of the most important things you guys can do. Instead of going gung-ho and trying to get the kill, it's better to just stay alive and make sure that you and your team can push up together, or you guys can actually get control together and keep control. Also making sure that you can play consistently, whether if that's playing on a daily basis or just making sure that your play style is consistent. It'll definitely help your guys' gameplay and your game style to make sure that you guys can up your guys' game and increase in your skills as much as you guys can. The only time I would recommend not playing super consistently is when you want to change up your movement patterns to try and dodge the enemy team. But other than that, if you guys follow these general tips, it should guarantee you guys some consistent wins. Now let's talk about the best bans and picks for Hot Zone. Hot Zone's a bit more map dependent since some of the maps are really open, like Open Zone. It's literally in the name, but Dueling Beetles is a bit more close quarters in the center of the map. But generally speaking, banning brawlers like Eve, Janet, Lola, Pam, Byron, and Crow are all very good options depending on what comp you're planning on running and which one you think is going to be the most annoying to face into. But those are all very strong brawlers that can be very annoying if they pop off, and you don't want that to happen. In terms of picks, Squeak can be a very good one on something like Dueling Beetles because it can really shut off an entire lane and your opponents won't really have anywhere to move. Janet, Crow, Eve, Belle, and Byron are just very good brawlers all around, super long range, and just super great utility for basically any team you can fit them into. Meg also can be a very good one for a map like Open Zone, where you can very easily charge up your super, and then once you do, you have free reign of the map and can really just prevent anyone from getting near you once you're in that mecha. Now this tip is absolutely huge in drafting in Power Match or Power League. Whoever has the last pick on your team should try to cover the weakness of your team and try to counter the enemy team as much as you guys can. If you have the last pick, your goal is to basically try and cover the weakness of your own team and try to round out the comp to make it overall much better. Some of you guys, just like me, I don't really like having last pick a lot of the time, but it can actually become the MVP because, like I said, it'll help you guys round out the comp, and you want to hard counter the enemy team as much as possible. Of course, when you have the last pick, you want to make sure you understand what brawlers counter what, so watching this entire guide is going to help you guys out in the long run. The last mode I'm going to cover in this part of the video is going to be Gem Grab. In terms of the best bans, Squeak, Janet, Ash, and Rico were some of the common suggestions from the Vanguard team. Those brawlers are all super annoying to face against, so you really don't want to play any games against them, and if they're ever not banned, honestly just pick them yourself so that way you don't have to deal with them. So some of the best picks for the Gem Grab maps in Power League, including some of the banned brawlers, would be Tara, Janet, Eve, Squeak, Rico, and Crow. All of these are very versatile brawlers that make it very easy to get a lot of kills or just have a ton of pressure, and that way you're just not relying on your teammates to do all that much when you can do a lot of the grunt work yourself. These aren't all necessarily brawlers you would want to carry gems with, but they are all brawlers that can be very powerful just by themselves on their own team. Finally, the last general tip that I have for you guys is to make sure you guys have a stopping point whenever you guys play Brawl Stars.
Now honestly, say for me, I kind of like to stop whenever I lose 2 games in a row, because it really does mess with your mental health. You kind of just want to rush in, you know what I mean? You have all of this adrenaline, you're like, okay, you know I can win, let's go ahead and push forward. It's good to understand when you need to put down the game, take a break, or switch to a different game mode, switch to a different brawler, something like that, to break the bad momentum, the bad mojo, to get you guys back up and running. But I think the best thing to do is just stop, take a break, because it does give you time to reset, cool down, and regather yourselves. Because definitely your mental state is more important than anything. It's definitely more important than a game. So honestly, if you're losing a ton in Power League or Club League, Power Match, whatever it may be, just take a break, regather, and come back stronger than ever.
And then of course the most important tip, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and subscribe to Bren's channel, and go check out the second part of this Power League guide if you haven't already. There's tons more useful tips on there that'll let you become an absolute pro in Power League and just dominate the competition.